What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 27 in my 9th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along today, we have a film that I've had in the collection since it came out, and I've never watched it. I've never seen it before I picked up the Blu-ray either. And that film is 1987's Dolls, directed by Stuart Gordon, produced by Charles Band and Brian Yuzna. It was a Empire film during that whole Empire heyday of the mid to late 80s. Of course, Stuart Gordon, rest in peace. He died this past year. I think Stuart Gordon was a pretty awesome filmmaker, and after seeing Dolls, it even adds another cool film to his library of stuff that I've seen. I've seen most of his films, and I pretty much like everything that I've seen. So yeah, we have Dolls here. I have the Scream Factory. I picked this up when it came out. Really awesome cover there. Really represents the film well. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect about this film. I figured it was, typical full moon killer doll stuff, but this really is a much higher tier than what we usually get with like full moon. Obviously Empire was much better. But okay, so we have a family who is traveling in a rainstorm. It's a little girl and her nasty parents, and then they break down and they kind of break into a mansion, but the old people inside the mansion are very welcoming, and they have dozens and dozens of dolls everywhere. They're doll makers by trade and doll collectors. The little girl, of course, is fascinated by this. Then we have a couple of other people who break in and also trapped, and these old people are very, very weird right away. You definitely get some strange vibes from them, and they are in this giant mansion. The groups, go to sleep for the night, and basically the dolls come alive, and yeah, they basically attack the naughty people. So this film feels like a fairy tale. It's like, it almost feels like this Hansel and Gretel type thing, and these old people, they're very, sort of mysterious, but you get it almost feels like these people are going to get their, these old people are, even though they're creating these dolls that kill people, they're doing it to people that deserve their comeuppance. So it's kind of that whole thing. You have tons of dolls in here, lots of cool dolls, and one of the coolest things about it is you have some great, super cool stop motion sequences. I am a sucker for stop motion. I think it's like one of the coolest underused things in modern film for sure, but even in film in general. I mean, it's obviously not used that much because it's incredibly time consuming, and I guess some people probably think it doesn't look that great, but not only do I think it looks good, but even when it's not done perfect, it has like an otherworldly quality to it. Like the way that the things move, it's creepier. The stop motion, because it's unnatural, it's like, it's jittery, and that to me makes it more creepy because it's unnatural movement usually. And when you do that to dolls, it's even more creepy. There is some gore in here. It almost feels a little out of place, because it on the surface, this almost feels like a kid's horror movie, like this sort of, grim fairy tale, if you will. But it's a little more violent to where I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a kid's film. I mean, it is rated R, but it almost feels like it could have been if they just cut out some of the more violent sequences. I'm not sure tonally what they were going for there, but I mean, to me that makes it even better as a grown, man. Okay, it feels like a kid's film, but it's gory, so I'm all for that. But I'm just saying, in the broad spectrum of people watching it, I'm not sure that would be kind of off-putting. But yeah, Dolls, pretty fun. It's a super short movie. It only runs 77 minutes. I mean, god dang, guys, the art of the short horror film is just gone. Now, I don't mean short film. I mean, under 90 minutes, under 80 minutes, 77 minutes. It cruises by, but it doesn't feel like it's missing anything. It doesn't feel like it needed to be much longer. I mean, the characters aren't really developed all that much. The sort of ones that are, you know, the nasty ones, but they don't really need to be. You know, they're douchebags. You know, you don't need to spend a bunch of times with them to know that they're douchebags. We spend a good bit of time with the girl, and we learn about the old people and stuff. So, I mean, that's enough. But the art of the shorter horror film is just gone. And I miss it, because when you, especially like on an indie level, like some of these indie films you watch are 2 hours long, and you're like, what are you doing? You don't have enough content here to make a 2-hour movie. But I think that's why in film school the thing they teach you is, and I don't know, I haven't been there, but I've just heard this, you know, learn to kill your babies, because it's an important process in the filmmaking process. You know, cut your film, edit it, and there's just something about a movie that cruises, and it could be because I watch so much stuff and I'm required to watch so much stuff because of the podcast and everything, that I lean more towards the shorter films. They seem to impress me a lot more. But I think that, you know, yesterday I reviewed Annihilation. That was a 2-hour film. It deserved to be 2 hours. It felt like a 2-hour film. I said it cruised by. Some of these other films, that's not the case, but I digress. Dolls, pretty awesome movie. I recommend checking it out. If you've never seen it, like me, do yourself a favor, pick up the Blu-ray. Is this still in print? I don't even remember if this is still in print, but I'm sure it's on streaming somewhere. If you know, I'm sure you can find it somewhere, but if it's not in print. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a great little film for the Halloween season. I recommend it. I gave it an 8. I'll give it an 8. I mean, I'm giving it an 8. So with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Only a couple more days left, and then we wrap up another one, year number 9. So see you guys tomorrow. Peace.